There never was a cat could compare with Lena the leopard. Of all the babies on the African grasslands, she was the bravest, the best. But the year she was born, marauding lions invaded our neighborhood. Oh, I'm telling you, those brutes had us all trembling with terror. Who would have thought that one small cub would have to face them alone? So, look sharp. Here comes Lena's Tale from the Wild. Lena the leopard. Did you ever see anything more beautiful than springtime on the grasslands of Africa? Very funny, sure. Pick on the warthog. Oh, come on, guys. Show 'em my good side. Yeah, that's better. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Walter the Warthog. And I've had my eye on Lena since long before she was the cool cat you see today. Which is why I've been asked to tell you all about her. 'Cause who knows hunters better than us poor guys who get hunted? Lena's family has always been fond of my family. But their idea of having a warthog over for dinner, well, having a warthog for dinner. Leaping lizards run! In fact, Lena's life and mine have been so closely linked that in a lot of ways, I think of her story as my story. It all began 3 years ago when we were both born. Lena's mom had a nice, cozy den. There's Lena. Yeah, I know, Lena's cute. Really cute. But for a baby with some character, you gotta check this out. Woo-hoo-hoo! That's me, Walter the Warthog. Brand spanking new and raring to go. We piglets might have been kind of funny looking, but we knew Big Mama loved us, warts and all. Even then, it didn't seem fair. Lena had everything, but I seemed destined to forever be on the losing end of a terrible game of cat and pig. Made me wonder if there was room for both of us here. Deep in the south of Africa, in the Mama Mama Game Reserve. That's where Lena and I were born. Just as pretty as Lena was her twin sister, Lori. But aside from their looks, those sisters were complete opposites. Lori was shy and nervous, while Lena was an adventurous, curious cat. Mrs. Leopard encouraged her girls to roughhouse. But something about the way they played made my hair stand on end. All that pinning each other down and biting. Just like they were catching, well, a warthog. Lena could out-wrestle Lori any day. Her dream was to be a great huntress. Yikes, just like her mother. to leave the girls all alone while she got them something to eat. Though they are fast, leopards don't rely on speed to catch their food the way cheetahs do. Instead, they're masters of stealth. Ever so quietly, one will sneak up on the target until... Look out! Mrs. Leopard knew just where to stash the impala she caught. After all, her enemies usually stay firmly on the ground. Her enemies like lions. That was the night the marauding lions first turned up. Oh, those two young he-cats had no pride. That's what you call a lion's family group. Worst yet, they didn't stick to one territory. They just wandered in and out of everybody else's turf, grabbing what they pleased. Good thing Mrs. Leopard had taken precautions. Good thing the twins had too, because as we all know, lions don't climb trees. Well, that is, most lions don't. The cubs climbed as high as they could. Lena used her smarts and slipped into the shadows. But Lori? Whoa! Hang on, sister! Hang on! The hungry hunters. Lori held on, barely. But Lena, she kept her cool. She climbed higher up the tree, where it was safer. Who were the lions going to eat? Impala or leopard cub? Mrs. Leopard wasn't about to risk her daughters. For the lions, dinner was served. The leopard family's hard-won meal went to the king of beasts, or should I say the king of thieves. Only when the lions were long gone did the girls dare come down. Ah, safe at last. Oh, I just love the snuggly parts, don't you? Makes me all warm and warty inside. Oops, sorry. Thank goodness those marauding lions had hit the road. Forever, we hope. For us warthogs, there were already too many hunters around. We worried about them night after frightening night.
Who's afraid of the dark? Me! I'm always trying to save myself from something I can't see. I've got me some neighbors who are not so neighborly. Who's afraid of the dark? It's me. Every day we take a stroll to our favorite water hole. We like to stretch and play and feel the sun. Cause the light is shining down, helps us watch for who's around. Maybe get a little head start if we have to run. We always try to be prepared, but every night we get a little bit scared. Afraid of the dark. Me, I'm always trying to save myself from something I can't see. I'm using all my senses to protect my family. Who's afraid of the dark? It's me. Now here in my backyard, the nights are really hard. If you make just one mistake, you might be gone. Now I don't came to be true. But it's someone's fool. So I'm always glad when I get past the dawn. The night is not for the mild or me. It's a deadly game of hide and seek. Who's afraid of the dark? Me. I'm always trying to save myself from something I can't see. I hope we make it through the night, but there's no guarantee. Who's afraid of the dark? It's me. Who's afraid of the dark? It's me.
Just when you thought you'd seen every scary thing the night had to offer, nature'd go and throw a rip-snorting thunderstorm at you. Leopards could head for the high ground. For us warthogs, there was no way to go but down in our burrow. Hey, who turned on the faucet? Big Mama couldn't stop the flood. Our burrow was filling up like a bathtub. When you're only 2 weeks old, this situation can be positively life-threatening. We little guys had to piggyback on top of Big Mama and hope we wouldn't drown. Whoa! We were lucky to escape with our lives. Nights in Mala Mala sure can get hectic. In fact, some creatures need the morning to catch up on their sleep. But when her girls are hungry, Mrs. Leopard got almost no sleep. Off she went hunting again. The cubs were left into themselves. Now, a warthog mom hardly ever leaves her babies alone. If she can't be there, she tries to get a good sitter, like one of her beautiful sisters. With all our family around, we stand a better chance of spotting any enemies lurking about. After surviving the wet, cold nights, we young'uns were bursting with big power! Ha ha! A guy can work up a thirst running laps, so we headed down to the water hole. Oh, yeah. If you want to wallow, there's nothing like a good gob of mud. Oh, oh, a nice scratch can make a hog forget about all its troubles. But trouble had not forgotten us. On the great food chain of life, Mrs. Leopard is one of the big shiny links on top, and we warthogs are stuck in the mud at the bottom. Big Mama yelled, "Quick, little piggies, follow me, wee, all the way home!" Whew. Chalk one up for the warthogs and our speedy feet. Poor Mrs. Leopard. No bacon for breakfast. But somebody'd had plenty to eat, as my older cousins discovered later that morning. We warthogs don't see very well, but my family could tell by their noses what had happened. Ooh, it smelled like it had been killed by a lion. Do you think the marauding lions could be back? Who knows? And whose nose is this? Oh no, a buffalo. As for our local lions, rumors that the marauders had returned were giving them nightmares. There were enough big cats in this territory, and just so much food to go around. Then, one day, Mrs. Leopard got got some late-breaking news from a gossipy baboon.
Hey, Mrs. Leopard,
He said.
I know something you don't.
It was just what we feared most. He told us the marauding lions thought that Mala Mala was a great place to visit. They were definitely back. The news sent a ripple of fear across the plains. We warthogs would have to stay close to home, but with lions on the prowl, was anywhere safe? Papa knows best. Over the next several weeks, things got pretty desperate in Mala Mala. Like pirates, those troublemakers swooped into our territory, stalking whatever unfortunate soul crossed their path. There seemed to be no end to their reign of terror. At the first sign of them, some animals ran. We warthogs ducked into our burrows. All alone, while her mother hunted, Lena stayed as still as a stone. Every morning, those who made it through alive looked around and breathed a sigh of relief. Mrs. Leopard was constantly on the alert, not just for lions, but for her own daughters. Lena and Laurie were practicing the leopard's favorite trick, the sneak attack, and they were pouncing on everything in sight. That's when Lena spotted something worth pouncing on. Mr. Leopard had some dinner. But Lena's mom warned her.
Dad hates to share, dear.
Yikes! There was no way Lena was going to get even one precious scrap from her father, especially with the marauding lions around stealing so much prey. Now, Lena's dad wasn't all bad, just awful busy doing grown-up leopard stuff. Sometimes he'd let the girls watch him work. Scratching trees leaves a smell that other leopards know where you live. And it also keeps your claws sharp, something that might come in handy if Mr. Leopard got cornered by one of those big cats. The cubs tried their best to imitate Dad. Even shy Laurie was getting the hang of it. Just then, a neighbor called out to Mr. Leopard. He'd come to patrol the boundary between their territories. Now, Lenny, he said, you stay on your side. If you stay on yours, said Lena's dad. Those leopards talk. All the tough talk in the world wasn't keeping those marauding lions out. As darkness fell on the grasslands, we all wondered who the marauding lions would stalk next. Night of terror. Now, I was scared of the marauders. Even Big Mama didn't know how a little guy like me could ever survive the likes of them. And Lena was just as helpless as me, but she seemed so brave. I started to watch closely as Mrs. Leopard taught the girls the ways of the hunter. One night, she caught something special. This hare was no meal. She brought it home alive as a lesson for the cubs. Lena, eager to show off her skills, immediately began to play with her food. But timid Laurie was afraid of the little critter. Seems that hare knew how to pull a trick out of its it's at. Oh, my, said Lori. It got away. We'll just go after it, said Lena, bravely leading the way. But they were heading straight into danger. Meanwhile, unaware that her daughters had embarked on an adventure of their own, their mother was chasing an impala. At last, Mrs. Leopard's family had to have a real meal. But back at home, she found no sign of her girls. Where were they? She called repeatedly, growing more upset by the moment. Nearby, she could hear rustling in the grass. Could it be the marauders? The mistress of Malabar. With lions about, it's best to be quiet. But Mrs. Leopard kept calling out for Lena and Roy. Until her calls were answered. It's Lena, safe and sound. Mother and daughter together again at last. Wrapped up in a leopard hug, Lena told her mother how she outsmarted the lions. When she heard them coming, she remembered to climb way up into the top of the tree. But Lori had lost her nerve. She had tried to run, and the lions caught her. Silently, Lena and her mother said goodbye to Lori. They'd never see her again. Oh, I don't even have a snort in me. That's how downhearted I feel. Excuse me. They say time heals all wounds. Well, I'm just a warthog, so what do I know? But when spring returned the next year, the marauding lions were long gone. Lena stayed with her mother for several more months. Then Mrs. Leopard said Lena was grown up enough to be out on her own, as is the leopard's way. I never doubted that Lena was up to the task. For the story of Lena and the lions had spread far and wide. We were all amazed that one so small and powerless had overcome the big and the powerful. If Lena was becoming a legend across the grasslands, my own reputation was, well, you know, that I was a big pig. Eat up, friends, with mucho gusto. Mm-mm. Oh, gosh, you know, with a little ketchup, this would be really tasty. Then, one day, I spotted a spotted cat, Lena, and she was looking at me. We'd been born in the same place, at the same season, but we'd never been friends. How well had I studied the ways of the leopard? I was about to find out. I ducked past a herd of impala, hoping to draw her attention to them. When she charged, I was out of there in a burst of swine-horrific speed. Lena flipped over one of those big boys instead. And me? Well, I'm sort of a wonder warthog after all. Turns out that even if Lena's the beauty and I'm the beast, well, we're both blessed with some very special talents.
Watch what I can do.
We're watching.
I can jump higher than you. Oh, watch what I can do.
We're watching.
I'm a hunter of the night, clever at finding food. We are gifted. We will use our talents. The competition's high. Watch what I can do. Watch what I can do.
We're watching.
I can run faster than you. Oh, watch what I can do.
We're watching.
I'm built for speed. I have what I need to get away from you. We're survivors in the face of danger. The competition's high. Watch what I can do. We're moving in our own rhythms. We are gifted. We are soaring overhead. The competition's high. Watch what I can do. We all do what we can. The competition's high. Watch what I can do.
You see, I'm kind of beautiful in my own way. I can outsmart even the coolest cats. For that, I thank the lovely Lena. Watching her taught me that even the wartiest of us has a fighting chance. In the great big balancing act of hunter and hunted, Lena and I are both survivors. And in Mala Mala, that makes for a happy ending.